Welcome to my beloved Oslo in autumn. Ugh, I wish I didn't do that. It's nice and wet leaves. Anyway, we're here in Oslo in the trendy Grünerløkka in Olavrias, this beautiful square here. I wanted to take you behind the scenes of some of the stories and businesses that you might not know about in Oslo, or in Norway actually. Local entrepreneurs who are doing internationally recognized things. Today's episode, I'm going to take you behind a glasses brand called Frank Walton. Now, I've had a pair of their glasses for about 6 years now, so I've known the brand and I've seen it evolve. But today, for the first time, we're going to get a real behind-the-scenes look at what's been happening there. When they've scaled stores, reduced stores, tried to scale internationally. What's the real story behind Frank Walton? Let's go find out. Frank Walton is a local Oslo-based glasses brand, designer, creator, all of the above. I wanted to get behind the business and meet the founder, Espen Kopperud, who is just your average Norwegian guy. How did he build a glasses brand in Oslo? The trials, the tribulations, and just really get into the story of his entrepreneurial journey, which I found fascinating, and I'm sure you will do too. Hope you enjoy. What is the best pair of glasses, in your opinion, you've ever made? Like, what is your proudest pair?
Actually, the first frame we made, which is faster, that's the frame you had actually.
Was it really?
From before,
No
yeah,
way.
that one. So that's by far our top seller as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So this is the pair that I've had for 6 years, actually.
Yeah.
I should have cleaned them before I put them on. But yeah.
First frame we made actually.
First frame they made.
This one faster, yeah.
So I've been there from the beginning.
Absolutely,
Espen,
yeah.
always a supporter. Yeah. Okay, cool. And what was your least favorite?
That's my least favorite.
You can't say.
It's not hair
We
anymore.
don't sell them
yeah.
anymore. I have to admit, I quite like these.
Yeah.
These are growing on me, and I've never had a pair like it.
And it's a little bit different than the ones you got already, so that's a good thing.
The only question is, will people think I'm trying to be a hipster?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Yay, nay. All right, what else we got, man? I like this.
So I want to try these ones on here. A little bit more chunky frame.
I've never had a chunky frame glass.
Yeah.
Love the color.
Absolutely,
ready?
yeah. It's a cool color.
Okay, let's have a look in the mirror. Oh, wow.
That works though, yeah.
You know what I feel like?
Very-
I feel like an advertising executive in New York.
You look like one.
I feel like my name is like Ari. Yo, what's up? I'm Ari. Yeah. I'm
More
gonna
like a
accent.
statement frame though. It's a really...
But these are really
yeah.
cool. I should have brought
That's
Cecilia
cool,
to have a look.
Cool frame.
These are cool.
Yeah.
And you know what, like, here's a question. When people come to get their glasses checked out, do you find that people know what they want already and then they're just looking to have someone to challenge that? Or do people come in here and actually just give me everything you got? And
a lot of people actually know what kind of frame they like or like the style they like.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our customers seen our frames before on frames or on Friends.
Yeah.
Or they've seen them online, so they have kind of like an ID.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come in and they end up buying something different than what they thought.
Yeah.
And there's obviously customers that are like very open as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have a customer who's bought every pair?
No, no, we don't. No.
Like every single. I'll take this in every color and frame.
The top customers bought, I think it was 11 pairs.
11
Yeah,
pairs. Wow.
I checked it because we have like a 8-year track record in the
Yeah.
systems, and one day I was like, hey, I'm wondering like our best customers, and there's the guy that bought 11 pairs, which I'm
If you're watching
very impressed by.
high five.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the business, Espen. So, like, who designs the glasses?
I design all the frames.
You design all the
I
frames?
do, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have a design background?
No, I don't, not at all, actually, no.
Would you say that you're kind of design or artistically inclined?
I don't know. I really enjoy designing glasses. I think it's super fun. And since starting Frank Walton, I've been like super interested in glasses, different brands, and like design. So if I go to like my sister lives in London, if I go there, I'll stop by like I don't know.
Every glasses store.
I will literally like plan where I go. Like my sister's like, hey, what do you want to do? And I will like say some activity that's near like an optical shop or something like that.
Yeah.
So I can go and visit. Yeah.
Where did the passion start, like for glasses? Like,
It started out through a company because I had, starting Frank Walton, I didn't have any passion for glasses.
Yeah.
It was more that I wanted to start something and I was looking for like a business idea. And then the more I've been working with glasses, the interest has come. So I'm really into glasses. Frank Walton and other brands as well. I think like glasses are really cool.
So would you say you're the kind of the entrepreneur who was looking for something to inspire them, and you found an opportunity, and you became inspired by the opportunity?
Yeah, more so. Yeah, so it was more that I wanted to start something, and I wanted to find the best business idea. Because a lot of some or a lot of entrepreneurs, they they're like super into like coffee, or they're super into something, and they want to start something within that sphere. But I wanted to find like a good business model, so that's where it started at. But now I have like a really good interest for glasses. I really like it. Yeah.
Espen, it's an interesting point for everyone watching this, because or listening to this. I find there's different types of entrepreneurs, and it's not just sort of, entrepreneur is such a broad term, yet we use it for everyone. It's like, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, Rufus is an entrepreneur. Rufus has his own business, it's mostly himself, creating incredible animated videos. I sell my voice, my brand, my name, you sell glasses, right? Yet we're all entrepreneurs, we're all in the same bracket. But Rufus does animation because he's passionate and skilled and talented, and you should check out his channel too. We'll link it below. You didn't have an initial passion for glasses, you were like looking for a business model.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right? Because I feel like a lot of people, and some of you might watch this and think to yourselves, like, I would love to become an entrepreneur, I want to do something, but what do I do? You went, what's a good business model first? Because a lot of entrepreneurs start with a passion, like I did. I wanted to do this media stuff.
You're doing okay though.
Well, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, just don't forget to like and subscribe, right? But I had this passion, and then I'm like, I will find the business model. So it's like, whereas you've gone, business model, develop the passion.
But I think both can work, because if you have a passion for something, you're obviously going to put more energy and time into it. So I don't know what's the best, actually.
Well, I think the question is this. Say Frank Walton, it's going well, you're doing a great job, you're making nice glasses. You should check out their store in Oslo-based or Bogstadveien in Norway, right? And I think you can find them online as well, right?
You can,
Subtle, shameless plug, but they're cool, I like them. So, so what would you do next if, in the next couple of years, Frank Walton is acquired by Luxottica or by Ace and Tate or one of your competitors? What would you do next?
No, that's a good question. I don't have a plan B, so I don't know, actually, to be honest.
Because it's like, the reason
I would want to start something new, though. But I don't know. If you're asking me what, I don't know.
No, not
But
yet.
I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start companies. I know that for sure, but I don't know what.
Because I'm always amazed by entrepreneurs who, for example, we love Elon, right? Everybody loves Elon. Elon Musk, for example, he started the Boring Company. He started SpaceX. He started Tesla, right? All different businesses. Maybe his vision and mission is about saving the world and creating a sustainable future. So maybe that's driving him. But like, for example, he could have been a Frank Walton founder, and then he goes and creates this company. Versus other founders who have one goal, one vision, one mission, right? And have created a series of businesses in the same space. The reason I just saw this opportunity to talk about this, Espen, was because I find a lot of people are looking for the idea, but I find that it sounds like you have a passion for finding good business models and creating a good, profitable business that generates revenue and value for the customers, number one, right? Whereas there's a lot of passion porn out there, where it's like, you should go do your passion and all these kind of things. And I feel like you'll criticize if you're not loving everything that you do and doing your passion. But if there's not, who actually knows their passion? Like who actually genuinely knows exactly what their passion is?
And I think you can get very interested in a lot of things when you dig deep into it. And I know people that work with seemingly very, very boring things, but I think they get a passion for it and like it,
Espen, let's go have a chat about some of the startup journeys that you've had.
Absolutely.
Let's do that. Espen, founder of obviously Frank Walton, been in your cool store now. Dude, I'm super curious. I think all of us are as well. Where did the name come from? Because your name isn't Frank Walton.
Yeah, absolutely. Frank Walton, first of all, is a fictional name. Starting out the company, I imagined like a 1960s professor with kind of the round frames, teaching at one of the Ivy schools kind of thing.
Ivy League schools in the US, like Harvard, Yale, etc. MIT, I don't know.
No, I don't think, maybe. And so the name is actually a mix of one guy named Frank and one guy named Walton that taught at Harvard and Yale in the 1960s.
Okay.
Yeah. So
how did you find it? You just Googled?
So Wikipedia actually. So I was looking through a bunch of names. And I think I had an Excel, and I put a lot of first names and a lot of last names, and I had I don't know, 10, 20 for first names, 10, 20 last names, and I thought Frank and Walton fit very well together.
It sounds like a real person, Frank Walton. Yes, I wonder if your name is, have you ever had anyone send you a letter? Hey, my name's Frank Walton, stop using my name.
No, that never happened. No, I don't think there's that many Frank Waltons. There's one like jazz singer.
Really?
It's like semi-famous. Yeah.
Well, so it works. So now we've got the theme of that. But so take me back to the beginning. You know, so you studied. What did you study?
So I studied economics and finance.
Okay. In Oslo?
In Milan, actually.
In Milan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So obviously, well, at least I know this. Maybe I'm sure you know this. Maybe you don't know this. But Luxottica is the largest manufacturer, producer, creator of glasses frames in the world, right?
That's correct, yeah.
I don't know if they're based in Milan or not, but...
They're based in Milan.
Okay, there we go. All right, now we're getting to the root of all of this. So like, did you get some inspiration from that? Did you see that and think, I'm going to make a glasses brand, or...?
Well, I knew about Luxottica because they were recruiting at the university I went to. But mostly for me, I was shopping for ideas when I started, I wanted to start a company, and I was shopping for ideas. And while I was in university, I felt kind of like I was wasting my time because I dropped out after a year.
You and Mark Zuckerberg, huh?
No, but I felt like I was wasting my time, and I felt like, do I want to do this for 5 years? Because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I was shopping.
Why?
I think actually in high school we have like entrepreneurial classes. So I went to the entrepreneurial class, and I really enjoyed that. I started a company in high school, which was like a school project thing. And
what was that company?
It was called Half and Half Trade.
Half and Half
Trade. So we went to Ghana. We bought Ghanesian or African crafts, like masks, sandals, like jewelry. And we sold it, and half the money, half the revenue actually, we donated.
Half and half?
Yeah, so it was very charitable. It was, I think it was probably like, what's the shoe? Tom's shoe?
Tom's shoes,
yeah, it was probably...
Similar model.
We probably misunderstood a little bit with half the revenue actually going, but it was a nice company, yeah.
I just seeing a red thread here because obviously, you know, you just talked me through the brand and the glasses and you know, basically I've actually bought a pair of Frank Waltons 6 years ago. The original pair that you created, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if you bring your pair into store, you guys will give you 500 NOK for the pair. Sort of that kind of circular economy coming back at you, and then you donate that pair, right? So I guess maybe some of sort of the values you created with Half and Half, you've now followed onto your next business, right?
I guess that part, yeah.
Interesting. So you're a university student in Milan, living the fashion lifestyle, exposed to Luxottica, looking for a business idea, shopping, as you said, looking for a business idea. Yeah. And then, how did you land on this concept?
So I was shopping for ideas. I had a lot of different ideas I was working with. I was constantly writing down ideas in my phone, etc. And then I saw a company called Warby Parker in the US, and I thought their business model was really cool.
What was cool about their business model? Maybe just describe it.
Yeah, so their business model back then when they started was basically they will ship you 5 frames in the post for free. And then you pick the frame you want, and you buy online, and it's strictly online. And the business model is basically they cut the middleman, no brick and mortar. Pretty normal business model today, I guess.
For those of you who may or may not have heard of them, they were very much a pioneer in disrupting, back in the day when disruption was a cool word, over a decade ago, right? The glasses industry, because Luxottica owned the market, right? And Warby Parker came in and basically disrupted that space and allowed you to be able to purchase high quality frames and glasses for a lower cost online, right? What was sexy about what they did?
Well, I think that there were companies that sold glasses online before, but what they did was they merged like the sexy cool design with selling online. So it was like they actually created a brand. Well, I felt like others that sold online before, they just basically made like Specsavers online where they only sold cheap glass online, and that was the business. But here they made it cool. Yeah. They actually made a brand where Park is a like real brand that people want to
buy from. Yeah, and you want to wear Warby Parker. I remember when I heard about the brand, I was like, can't wait to get to New York to buy a pair or to order them online when they first came to the UK where I was living at the time. So so you get inspiration. So what do you do then? What's next?
So it was like, I mean, I was in university. I spent a lot of time getting into that university. So it was a big decision for me actually to choose to drop out. But I was spending, because I remember I got the idea in like Christmas times, and when I was back in Norway, and then I got back to Milan, and I should have been studying, I should have been in school, but I was like constantly researching eyewear and writing a business plan, and I was like not doing any school stuff. So at some point I had the choice between like probably failing my exams and maybe taking the year again or dropping out. So yeah.
So and then you went for it. You decided to create the brand.
Yeah.
And this is what, 2000?
So this was 13, and it was like started in 14, I think. Yeah.
I just want to make a point about that because a lot of people come to me and they say, Matt, I want to become an entrepreneur, right? You know, and I'm looking for ideas. You saw inspiration in others, right? And a lot of people think that, oh, you could have said, oh, it's been done. I'll look for a different business idea. But instead, you looked at it, and something I like to say is, just because it's been done doesn't mean it's been done right, right? So if you see something, and a first mover like Warby Parker, today, you know, a decade later, there are so many brands that have come and gone and also exist today who have taken inspiration from Warby Parker, right?
I'm sure like 30 brands. Like,
exactly, right? So 29 other people saw that as inspiration and created successful businesses that are revenue generating, and some have failed, some are succeeding, you're succeeding, congratulations for that. But it hasn't always been plain sailing, has it?
No, for sure. No, I mean, I started the company when I was 22 years old. And yeah, I've done a lot of mistakes, a lot of things. I know a lot of ways not to run an eyewear company, for sure. And actually, I read this article actually just a couple of weeks ago with this Danish professor who has been like studying entrepreneurs and like who's succeeding, etc. And like running the numbers there. And you kind of think like it's the young entrepreneur that quits. Like you kind of feel like those are the ones that are most likely to succeed. But his conclusion was basically like male, 40 to 50, 20 years experience in the industry, he's starting a company. So I mean, it's good and bad to start as young as I did, but yeah, it's a steep learning curve, and I learned a lot of things I shouldn't do, I guess.
It's an interesting point you make because, yeah, I remember that article, and I think the study revealed that the average age of a successful entrepreneur today is 42 years old or something, right? You know, and so yeah, not the 25-year-old or 22-year-old college dropout from Milan building the next, you know, Warby Parker in Europe. It's actually someone who's got more experience, more access to capital. So that's a nice point as well. I always like to sort of feed back to our audience, Espen, and say that, you know, don't feel the pressure to create a business before 30 because you feel like that's the only time you can. The reason media reports about the 25-year-olds is because it's so amazing. Yeah. So the reason we tend to get a bit of a misconstrued impression of who the stereotype or archetype of what an entrepreneur is some young guy in a cafe hacking away. It's incorrect, actually. It's older men and women who tend to be more successful. Now, you've created a Nordic glasses brand, right? Yeah. Brands globally benefit from regional stereotypes. Now, Scandinavia, the region of Scandinavia, has a stereotype, doesn't it? Yeah, when it comes to brands. Yeah. If you look at Sweden, we've got, you know, Absolut Vodka, Filippa K, Koss, you know, like H&M, cool design. In the B2C, Spotify, Klarna. In the tech space, you go to Copenhagen, and we've got designed furniture. This is beautiful design. Maybe came from Copenhagen, maybe not.
From Denmark, yeah.
Is it from Denmark? Yeah, there you go, right? Norway.
Yeah.
So I was curious, you building a brand, did you find that it was easier to build a brand because of the clout that you had being Scandinavian? Or was it more difficult because you weren't Swedish or Danish, you were Norwegian, and they don't have as much of that sort of appeal?
Yeah. I think like starting out, like Norway, like if you go back 8 years, Norway didn't really have that many cool brands.
Like literally household names.
Yeah, because I feel today like Norwegian brands are doing better and better, and it's more cool to be Norwegian.
Holsweiler, great example. They're killing it. Sure. Love that team. Yeah. What else? What other Norwegian brands can we think of?
There's Varsity. It's a cap brand.
Cap brand
is a cool one.
True.
Uber, this jacket brand. They're really cool.
There's a bunch of others. Let us know in the comments if you have some favorites. Livid,
they have like jeans denim, and denim that was stored down here. Yeah, that's super cool.
All started probably within the last decade or so. You know.
Tom Wood, that's a good one.
Yeah,
they're super cool.
So a lot has happened in the last decade. So when you started, they didn't exist.
No, to a much smaller scale. And the reason I did like an American name was because I wanted to associate with like the American style. I think if I started Frank Walton today, I would pick more of a Norwegian name and play more on the Norwegian part of the brand. And I think that's, I mean, I love the brand Frank Walton, and I think people really like the name, and we're never going to change that. But I think I do get some questions about that because we started selling our frames to other countries. and they really like, oh, like for instance we sell in Switzerland, and they're telling me like, oh, Switzerland, they're not like Norway, that's quality, it's minimalistic, and just a lot of countries, if you go outside of Scandinavia, like Scandinavia is like the same thing. Like if you go to Switzerland, they like if it's Danish or Swedish or Norwegian, it doesn't really matter. It's just like the same Scandinavian thing. But they like the Norwegian thing, but they're like the Frank Walton name. It's a little bit American. It's a little bit of a mismatch sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious about your journey, right? So you started out. Did you have money? Did you raise money? How did you get started?
So basically, we started Frank Walton with I think it was 950,000 kroners.
So 95,000 euros.
Yeah. And
of your own money, you saved money, borrowed money, stolen money. Is this when you reveal it?
That's stolen money.
Yeah.
No, I made a business plan, and I remember I quit school in May, June. Should have been, probably 2013 then. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to commit 100% to this. I'm quitting. I'm not doing my exam, so basically dropping out. Yeah. And I sent out a lot of business ideas. I went to meetings. I had 2 meetings in London actually with 2 investors there, and after like a lot of meetings, a lot of no's, there was my friend's dad. He ended up investing, and I remember my friend's dad was one of the first guys I sent the business plan to. But I sent it to my friend, and he was going to send it to his dad. And I remember after I had all the meetings and everything failed, I asked my friend like, hey, what did your dad say? And I was like, oh shit, sorry, I forgot to send it. And he sent it. And I think like literally the day after, his dad was like, hey, come over to my office and let's talk. And I don't remember if it was like that meeting or the next one, but it was like within like 2-3 days, he was like, okay, I'll invest. And he invested, I think it was 250K. Mm-hmm. And then we got some other small investors. And actually my parents, they loaned me the last 500K. So I'm still paying back on that.
Yeah.
Which is like such a dumb thing to do for me and for them to just like 50,000 euros. That's
a lot of money. But I think there's a point there to remember, which is that money you got. And I speak to entrepreneurs a lot, and they tend to say the same thing, that they were at the last meeting of the day of no's, and then the money came in. Yeah. And there's a common thing I tend to see. You mentioned it was someone that you knew, right?
Yeah.
Knew through at least, or you've been friends with this guy, I'm sure, for a while, right? Yeah. More often than not, we raise money from people that know us and have known us than first time. So when you have a first time meeting with some venture fund or an angel investor, for example, it takes time to build a rapport. And very rarely investors will just invest immediately. So actually being active and being consciously aware that it takes time to build relationships, therefore you're fostering a potential yes of an investment if you're meeting people in those spaces. So you didn't know that, but you were building that then. But we're sitting in your store today, and you mentioned that the inspiration was Warby Parker, which is purely online. And I'm sure that business model you pitched was like, we're going to do online sales of glasses, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why are we now sitting in a store?
So I mean, basically as an entrepreneur, I think one important thing is to change and adapt to what's actually working. And we sold online, but it wasn't really working. We were not actually managing. We were losing a lot more money than we were making. And I think, for instance, like glasses is such a slow product to sell. So if you put like 1,000 kroners into marketing for glasses, you might get that back, but it might take like 4 years, because it's not like a product you see and you just like instantly buy it.
Well, it's not high frequency purchase,
right?
Yeah,
because you buy a glass like you.
I bought mine 6 years ago. Yeah.
And then actually this store, I walked past there and I saw that it was available, and I was like, okay, like we were losing money every month online, and we were walking towards bankruptcy, to be honest.
Yeah. And when was this? In 2000?
Although this was actually I think it was 14 as well. I think it was like, because I think I started in May 14, and I think this was in like November actually 14.
It's the same year, literally. You're like, the original thesis isn't working.
Because we had, I think we had like 200,000-300,000 to market, way too little. And we were like running out of that, and we were not making enough sales actually. And then I saw this store, and I got the contract, and I opened this store in 2 days. Went right to IKEA, bought some tables,
Probably
Yeah,
still
no,
the same
yeah.
stuff.
So it was like super cheap, and I remember starting this in November, and I was like, we didn't have like a bank terminal, we didn't have heat, so it was like super cold. It was just like, and I sat here from, I think I started like at 11, and the first customer came around like 2 o'clock, and I was like super nervous.
Well, also, you probably never sold to a customer face to face. I don't know if you'd ever worked in a
No, that
store
was the
before.
first time, and I remember it sold for like 7,000 kroner the first day. I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
Amazing.
3 customers.
3 customers.
Yeah.
Congrats. You did it.
Yeah, that's fun.
So that's then, and you know, has it been just growth since then? Or?
No, it's been, so basically after we started this store has worked since day one. It's been a really good store. The first year I was working here all by myself, and I was living with my parents, so it was like not a lot of costs.
No.
But this one has been really good from day one, and then we got new investors, and we wanted to start more stores. So my idea was like, hey, this works really well. It's just like if I start
Scale it up,
right? So we started basically 3 stores within I think like 3-4 months.
In Oslo.
Actually, yeah. So or right outside of Oslo. So we started in Bogstadveien, the store we still have, and then we started in Sandvika, which is a shopping mall, and Triaden, which is another shopping mall. And it was kind of like we kind of had to start both places at the same time. And the Triaden one was just like horrible, didn't work at all. Sandvika was pretty good revenue, but the cost there, because it's open for like 11 hours, I think. Okay. So you have to have like 2 full-time employees, so your salary basically doubles. Yeah. And then the rent is like super high as well. So the revenue there was pretty good actually, but the costs were too high. So we closed down those two shops. So there's been a lot of trial and error, and what we've done like the last 2.5 years is that we started actually selling our frames to other opticians and other fashion shops. So now we sell in close to 130 stores in Norway and some European countries, one in Canada. Yeah. So that's been like a change in the concept from like initially like we're only going to sell online, we're never going to start a store, we're never going to like to what we do today, and that's the same for some of the other like eyewear brands that started similar.
Yeah, they've had to evolve. And I think that's an important thing to remember, that when you create a business or a thesis, and a business is a thesis, right? So it's like, you know, a hypothesis that you are like, I'm going to go create a, you know, American named, international Nordic designed, high quality online brand, because I believe it's a good business model. And then you realize, you know what, online isn't working, let's go store, brick and mortar, that's working, let's scale that. No, wait, it's not working on scale, let's go back to what we had. And now you have 2 stores, and now you're going, oh, let's go B2B, let's like sell to other, and you know, place our brand in other existing multi-brand stores, right? As opposed to having standalone flagships. So it's an important lesson that you can't be too stuck to your initial thesis. You have to, based on feedback, right, and respond. Espen, so you know you've built a successful brand. High five, Frank Walton.
Awesome,
And Frank Walton. I hope someone, who knows, someone names their child Frank Walton. That would be funny. But the point is, you're Norwegian. You studied abroad. You built a Norwegian brand. Kudos. 10 years ago, that didn't really exist. There weren't many of them. It's more Sweden, more Denmark. Today, there's Holsweiler. There's a stream of other successful Norwegian brands. Norwegian brands are valuable abroad. So anyone watching this or listening to this is inspired by you, and I hope that they are. What would be your advice to them as an entrepreneur to starting a business and building a business or building a Norwegian brand or anything like that?
So like in terms of starting a company, what I did, I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I was looking at different companies in bigger markets. So you can look at, okay, what's going on in the US, what's going on in Germany, what's going on in big markets, and then you can copy like a business model that works in different markets. And I think that happens all the time here in Norway, that business models that works in other countries, you take them here to Norway and you probably tweak them a little bit. And I mean, there's a lot of examples, like I don't know, Starbucks, there's espressos is kind of similar, I guess. To that, obviously Frank Walton is similar to some American or Warby Parker we spoke about. So I think that's a good way to start, maybe, to look at like different, like bigger, because then you have like some sort of like proof of concept, I guess. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I don't know, like, I think a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs or want to start something, I think they have to be like super innovative in terms of like they have to like
AI,
make a new product.
blockchain, an NFT platform.
Yeah, I think like, I'm guessing like 99% of companies are like a pizza place or a coffee shop, or it's just, you know,
I like that.
So, yeah.
Keeping things simple, keeping things profitable. You know, there's a reason that these kind of business models have worked over time. Like you said, you went and looked for a business model first and built a business second.
Also, it's about like being a little bit like regarding like trends, I guess, and industry. So I know, like, for instance, like the eyewear industry is a very profitable industry, very hard one to enter though. But so that's like a good thing to look for. And I think there's a lot of like trend companies that everyone wants to start that are simple. And I think that's something one should be a little bit
cautious of.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Lastly, you know, entrepreneurship's a sexy thing today. A lot of people want to become entrepreneurs and do these kind of things. But, you know, you've had a hell of a journey, mate.
Yeah.
He's lost his hair.
Yeah, that just because of the company. Yeah.
Just kidding.
But
but like, you know, you've been through a lot. What would you have done differently, and what would you never change?
That's a tough question, because there's obviously a lot of business decisions I could have done different, and I wish I did different. But it's also like a part of the journey and part of like learning. And I do think it's actually true that you'll learn when you do mistakes, I guess, when you fail. Yeah. I think I would probably take it slower in the start. Like when I started this store, I like this worked, and then I was like, oh, let's start 3 new shops
within a few months of it working. Or something,
yeah, I should probably have started like 1 and then see this working. So I think it's that's advice for me, at least, because I'm very impatient. But slow down, grow like slow and steady, maybe before you scale, and have like build that fundament before you push it too far, I guess.
Would you encourage entrepreneurs or just Norwegians to create businesses?
I would, yeah, but I don't. Yeah, if you want to do it, because it's definitely not for everyone, I think.
Do you think Norwegians are good business men and women?
Sure.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I think it's good to answer a little bit of a different question. I think Norway is a good place to start a business in a lot of ways. I think. I mean, if you fuck up, you have the welfare state that will take care of you. You're not gonna like live on the streets. And I think that Norway has a very big we have a very big middle class and a lot of buying power. So I think like in the US, for instance, it's very, very competitive, and people that don't have that much spare money to maybe buy a product that you can be a little bit more expensive or something like that. But in Norway, they do have the extra money to spend, I guess. So I think Norway is a good place to start a business. And in terms of Norwegians being better entrepreneurs than others, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I'm not sure.
Norwegian entrepreneur, successful one.
Awesome,
Espen,
awesome.
Tusen takk. Love the glasses. I'm going to grab a pair.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed hearing Espen's story. Go and check out Frank Walton online, frankwalton.no or .com?
.no. Yeah.
.no. Come to their Oslo-based store, meet Espen or one of his team. They also have a Bogstadveien store if you're in Oslo, which is behind Majorstua area. I'll drop it in the links below. Dude, thanks for sharing your story, man.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it. You've been so like generous and welcoming us to your home, a business which you're still building. I wish you all the success.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and go check out Frank Walton.
Awesome.
This wasn't actually sponsored either. Cheers, dude. Thank you.
Awesome.